"Who designed this engine?" CEO asked, then froze when the little girl pointed at her single dad. Thomas Reed had the kind of hands that told a story before he ever opened his mouth. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of small moments to change lives, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness True Stories. Also, tell us in the comments, where in the world are you watching from? They were rough and calloused, stained with grease that never fully washed out no matter how hard he scrubbed. He worked as a floor mechanic at Harlow Industrial Manufacturing, a mid-sized engine production facility in a quiet Ohio town. And he had worked there for 11 years without a promotion, without a raise worth mentioning, and without anyone ever asking him what he actually thought about anything. He wore the same grey coveralls every day, ate lunch alone at the corner bench near the east wall, and clocked out at 5:30, without fail, because he had somewhere more important to be. His daughter Maya was 9 years old, and she was the single greatest thing Thomas had ever done with his life. Her mother had left when Maya was 2, unable to handle what she called the smallness of their life, and Thomas had never blamed her out loud, never spoken badly of her to Maya, and had simply gotten up every single morning and chosen to be both parents at once. He helped with homework at the kitchen table after dinner, braided Maya's hair badly but with great effort every school morning, and on weekends he brought her to the factory during the rare open family days because Maya loved machines the way some children love fairy tales. She could name engine parts at age 6. By 8, she was asking questions that made older mechanics scratch their heads. Thomas answered every single one. He taught her not because he had a plan, but because sharing what he loved with the person he loved most felt like the most natural thing in the world. What nobody at Harlow Industrial knew, because nobody had ever thought to ask, was that Thomas had spent 4 years quietly redesigning a core component of their mid-range combustion engine in his own time. He had identified a thermal inefficiency in the existing model that was costing the company measurable fuel output, and had built a working prototype using salvage parts in his garage. He had submitted the idea twice through the internal suggestion system and received no response either time, so he let it sit. He kept doing his job and said nothing more about it. In early spring, the company announced that its new CEO, a woman named Diana Cheng, would be doing a floor walk at every facility as part of her first 100 days in the role. Nobody on the floor thought much of it. These visits came and went and nothing ever changed. Diana Cheng arrived on a Tuesday with a small team and moved through the facility with sharp eyes and very few words. She stopped at machines, asked specific technical questions, and dismissed vague answers without ceremony. It was during the open family afternoon that happened to fall on the same day that Maya was on the floor beside her father when Diana approached their section. She looked at a display model of the company's newest engine prototype, the one that had quietly incorporated several of Thomas's original suggestions after an engineer had rediscovered them in the system and built upon them without attribution. And she asked the room a simple question: who designed the efficiency modification on this thermal output valve? The room went quiet. Engineers looked at each other. The floor supervisor started to speak. And then Maya, standing beside her father in her small sneakers, looked up at Diana Cheng and pointed directly at Thomas without a single moment of hesitation and said, "My dad did." She said it the way children say true things, without politics, without fear, without any understanding of what it might cost or what it might change. Just the plain truth delivered with complete certainty. Diana Cheng looked at the little girl and then looked at Thomas, who stood very still with grease on his hands, and no expression he could easily name on his face. She asked him to walk her through it. He did. For 40 minutes he explained every calculation, every test, every failure and adjustment in the garage over 4 years of quiet work. Diana did not interrupt once. When he finished, she was silent for a moment, and then she said, "You have been here 11 years and nobody listened to you." He said, "No, ma'am." She said that changes today. Thomas was moved into a product development role within the month. His salary tripled. He and Maya stayed in the same small house because Maya said she liked her room, and Thomas said that was reason enough. What changed was not the house or the town. What changed was that a man who had given everything to his daughter without ever asking to be seen was finally seen, because his daughter never once doubted that he deserved to be. If this story moved you, please give it a like, share it with someone who believes in second chances, and subscribe to our channel, Kindness True Stories, for more powerful and emotional stories about the quiet heroes living all around us.